What's up everyone, and you are watching What's Up Ryan. Right now we have Bitcoin dropping from 4,200 all the way back down to 3,760. I think everybody wants a quick update about what's going on. We lost 13 billion in the market, guys. So we want to quickly get back into the episode and just cover what are the strategies that we need to adopt, or at least what are we planning to do in terms of this recent correction. What should you be doing? This is going to be something that you're going to be learning in this episode, why you should not go all in at one particular price point. So this is a very sharp drop, guys. Let's just cover the markets first. Okay, so right now in terms of the overall market cap is at 128.689 billion, and the past 24-hour volume is 39 billion, and at the same time the BTC dominance has increased to 52.3%. Now that means there has been a lot of take profits coming from all the altcoins that are out there. So let's see whether there's any change to the top 5 in terms of position. Practically not much. You'll see BTC, Ethereum, Ripple, EOS, and Litecoin still holding the top 5 spots. But in terms of overall positioning and price, obviously they have tanked quite aggressively. As you can see for the past 24 hours, if you just take a look, Bitcoin has lost 8.09%, Ethereum has lost 14.17%, Ripple has lost 10.45%, EOS has lost 14.35%, and Litecoin has lost 13.6%. Now, in terms of the top losers, I think I'm always very curious to see the top losers. Wow. Okay, never mind. Let's look at the top gainers first. I think the top gainers would be pretty interesting. Now, this is based on a total of based on the overall 2,000 cryptocurrencies. So that would be always very interesting to see. Instead of always letting you all see the top 100, I decided maybe let's switch it up a little bit so that you will see all the coins that have the most. Yeah, I mean, the most ridiculous gains. So in the past 24 hours, you'll see this coin called Ultra Coin. Market cap only 87,820. The price is like it's not even 1 cent, guys. It's 0.0183 cents. And they have a very low circulating supply, 47,776. And then in terms of the past 24-hour volume, zero. Practically very little actually moved the thing, but in terms of the past 24 hours, it actually gained 660%. So as you can see, it's pretty ridiculous. Broker Neko Net, whatever. I think, wait, let me see. I think it's longer than that, but the name is really long. And in terms of the market cap, is 114,000 only, and then same thing, zero volume, but in the past 24 hours, it has increased 484.97%. They have Paycoin. In terms of volume, only 1,751, but it has increased 206.12%. Winco, it has increased, in terms of market cap is 1.889 million. 24-hour volume, 4,104. It has increased 188.64%. Iconic Lab token, which has a market cap of 437,000. Currently stands at 11.3 cents. In terms of 24-hour volume, 7,164. And then in terms of the past 24-hour volume is 151.78%. Now, don't touch these things. Don't touch anything that is not within at least the top 100 cryptocurrencies. Don't touch anything that is in an obscure exchange. Look, it comes to a point where people tend to just say, you know what, I'm gonna try with $10, I'm gonna try with $100. I wanna just see what this exchange is gonna be like. Okay, it's not cool to lose money. Okay, it's not cool to lose money. Whether or not that $100 means anything to you, or it doesn't mean anything to you, it doesn't mean that you just randomly throw it at a particular unknown exchange, right? If you don't even see a good amount of people talking about that particular exchange, and you see this cryptocurrency that is just just obscure. I mean, you've never even heard of the cryptocurrency, and there's thousands of cryptocurrencies, right? In this case, we have 2,000 cryptocurrencies at the moment, and you just decide, oh, you know what? Let's try out putting in some money for that. I'm only gonna try with $100 anyway. Okay, and let me explain to you why I even just wanted to show you out of the usual top 100. Because a smart contract, right, can be created very simply just to mint a certain amount of coins. They don't necessarily have a mining system or anything particular in place. They were just creating coins. So what happens is that when they create these coins, they have to place them somewhere. So, right, they have to place them somewhere. And sometimes these exchanges, right, are desperate. They don't really have any proper listing criteria other than just creating the wallet for that particular weird coin, right? And all they have to do is just sift through whatever smart contracts that are out there and then just place that coin. Obviously, they can go and reach out to these projects, okay? I'm not saying that they didn't, but when there's a lack of volume, okay, top exchanges usually will have a maintenance of how much of a 24-hour volume that needs to be maintained. Sometimes it's a monthly volume, right? They are not going to be as strict as, okay, every day you have to have this amount of volume. But the good exchanges will have at least a minimum of in the next 24 hours you need to have a minimum of $50,000. Okay, so this is one of the higher criteria for the top exchanges. I know that these exchanges that these coins are in, on the other hand, are definitely not there at all, right? So you're gonna, the moment if you even ventured and looked at this, right, that means you're trying to think out of the box, right? And then suddenly you just decide, okay, let's do this. Let's go in and see what are the bottom losers. Okay, so for example, you go to the bottom losers, right? And then you click on the bottom. Wait, let me see. So let's say you go to the bottom losers of the top 2,000 currencies, and then you notice, oh, okay, I see that contract net has lost 87%. Let's go to the exchange that contract net is listed and see what happens. So what's going to happen is that you're going to see low liquidity. Check this out, $6. And what did I mention to you about CoinMarketCap? It pulls the API of all the available prices that are on, not just the prices, they pull all the prices from all the exchanges, and they pull all the overall volume from all the exchanges. Now, obviously, CoinMarketCap cannot keep track of all the various exchanges that are out there. I'm sure that there are even more, less prominent exchanges that are not even linked to CoinMarketCap's API. Okay, it's not automatic. Someone is running CoinMarketCap, right? So at the end of the day, if these exchanges are not even even having legit listings and whatnot, obviously these are listed somewhere. Okay, all these coins are obviously listed somewhere, hence they are populated here, and that's why you're getting the data. But if you're a serious investor, okay, or you're a serious trader, you will definitely not touch all these things, because firstly, as an investor, you need to make sure that fundamentally I understand what these cryptocurrencies or what this project is all about. And exchanges that really take this seriously, right, will at least have a description about what this particular project does, okay? And at the same time, they will make sure that these tokens that are being traded on their exchanges, right, will maintain a decent amount of liquidity, and at the same time, there is a healthy buy and sell order, at least. Okay, they will try. Not every project is able to do that. Not every project has the money to even maintain healthy order books. That's why you notice you will see some delistings happening, right? Because after a while, the token is no longer popular. They don't have money to spend on marketing. Obviously, maybe they don't have any developments at all, or very little progress. There's nothing to shout about. Community is dead, and the next thing you know, the token gets delisted. So that is one thing that you have to take note of. Now, I mentioned of as an investor. The next thing, what about as a trader? Have you forgotten about us? No, I have not. As a trader, you are obviously also looking to make sure that you have liquidity. If you look at your 24-hour volume is like this, what kind of liquidity is there? Even this is horrible. Like, what is this? So you can't even take anything seriously. It's like you can observe, right, if a cryptocurrency has healthy volume. So let me just show you what is healthy volume, okay? Then you have a rough idea. So by now, if you're someone who has been doing some trades, okay, professional traders, you don't have to watch this video, okay? You're already professional already. So if you look at the top cryptocurrencies that are having the volume at the moment, okay, you will always see the same names, okay? There are times in this crypto space that there will be some that pop out from nowhere, but overall, when you've done enough trades, one glance you will always see the same cryptocurrency. So that's something good that you want to identify. The moment you identify these cryptocurrencies, right, that way you have a selection of cryptocurrencies that you can look at and pair. Because when you're a trader, right, you're focused on technical analysis. You don't really care too much about fundamentally what do they do. You just look at the charts, okay? If the charts or the indicators that you're using, right, actually falls in place with whatever parameters that you have set for yourself for that particular trade, and you say, hey, okay, right now it seems like this is the kind of criteria that have been met for that particular cryptocurrency. Okay, it's time to go. Let's get into it. And that's really how it works. So let's get into the charts right now. Okay, let's get into the charts right now. And of course, right now you have BTC tanking aggressively. Obviously, when you look at any indicators, so back to the same indicators, guys. Okay, OBV. Okay, OBV has dropped drastically, of course. I hope that you guys can see I haven't changed the color. And then we look at RSI. Okay, it's very, very simple, very, very straightforward. So since on a 1 hour time frame, okay, 1 hour time frame, it seems to have started to recover. Okay, but still too early to say. There's always that possibility of a second, even third drop. Okay, so there is that possibility. On the 1 hour, okay, it has already been oversold already. Great. Now, what about 4 hours? Let's look at the 4 hour time frame. 4 hour time frame, okay, starting to recover. It has kind of started to recover already. Didn't really go into the oversold region. Then let's look at 1 day. So 1 day, you know, it kind of tanked, you know, dropped very drastically and tanked. So right now, it seems to be forming a possible, okay, especially if you look at the OBV, a head and shoulders, okay. The head and shoulders here is not very prominent, but here, if you look at it, it looks like a head and shoulders. And when it forms a head and shoulders on the OBV, you also can, it also can be an indicator also that it could drop further. Okay, so I guess if you, it's not correlated, it's more of this portion. But if you look at this, it is not really a full head, especially, but this is clearly engulfing the previous candle. So there could be more downside because the selling pressure was really, really hard. Okay, for this. Okay, the selling pressure was really hard. And right now, we are just gonna maintain and observe for the next 3 sessions. So I would prefer looking at 3-4 hour candles before making a decision on what to do. Okay, I know that there are some professional knife catchers out there. Well, that's up to you, man. Because I don't believe in knife catching. I prefer, okay, consolidation first, then we come and think about entries and look at the indicators then. Okay, now let's look at Ethereum. I think there are folks who are interested in Ethereum because of constant pole. Sometimes I wish, why is it everything is so complicated and nerdy, you know? Just say I'm having an upgrade, you know, upgrade version 1.3.6a or something like that, you know. I mean, cool. You want to have some cool name, fine. Okay, so same thing. If you're looking at the 1 day, okay, so we look at 1 day, 4 hours, we look at 1 day, 4 hours, 1 hour. So I want to try to gear you all to look at longer term, because if you all don't look at the long term, right, what happens is that you kind of miss out on the bigger upside. I am only focused on the bigger upside, guys. I'm not focused on the 15 minutes, what happens 1 hour later or whatever. I'm only focused on the bigger play here. So same thing. It has, for the 1 hour, it has really tapered off. Let me see, what is this? This is currently at okay, it's above 50, so that's good. Okay, at least it stopped dying and it stayed above the 50 mark in terms of the RSI. I guess it's kind of supported still because of the anticipation of how constant pole would react. Now, in terms of the tokenomics, or how the token will react, I think that's very important on the decision making on whether or not there's going to be a token value management here, or at least the token will maintain a certain price. Okay, this part we cannot control. Okay, the part about how traders react to selling down the Ethereum after a successful launch, that is sentiment based. Okay, it's very normal where it's either priced in prior to the actual launch. Then what happens is that if it gets delayed, it will dump. If it's successful, okay, perhaps the price has already been baked in days before or even weeks before. And if the incentive is favorable for those individuals that accumulate anywhere from above $100 to even $120, then okay, there's some incentive to hold there, because there's still a proof of stake element. Maybe there are people who genuinely want to stake Ethereum, and from then they will discover or not, and they find out for themselves how I mean, like I said, I think it's only 5% per annum, if I remember correctly. Roughly the distribution or those who are rewarded for staking will be 5% per annum, or even lesser, right? Because the more mature a network, usually they tend to not want to distribute so much of their tokens, because their tokens are more of value, and they would prefer people who would help them to secure the network. So they want longer term individuals, right? Like miners are definitely hardcore, as in we're talking about miners who actually bought, you know, the latest ASIC miners and so on and so forth. That means they're dedicated to make sure that the network is going to run as smoothly as possible, because if the network doesn't run smoothly, I'm going to be affected. The network doesn't perform well, prices of Bitcoin may go erratic, and it doesn't work well for me. So everybody kind of is incentivized to play a part, you see. Hence the whole coming together, you know, because it's decentralized and everything has to work on a consensus, it gets really much more complicated in this space. Okay, so the other one, let's go to I think EOS. I think EOS has taken quite a bit of a hit, not unexpected. I mean, you know, the rocket can only last for so long in terms of fuel, right? And at the same time, whatever potential market making or whatever involved, it's I mean, look, I don't want to always say market making. You know, it is necessary. It is necessary. You know, and in terms of making sure that the price stays at a certain point, it is all dependent on what is available. So for EOS, I think right now the only thing that is going to do well, that it could potentially do well, is that there are more decentralized applications or more enterprise solutions coming out from EOS. Now, EOS is a very huge project, by the way. Okay, it has multiple fronts in different countries. Okay, and that kind of really helps it to gain a strong brand presence internationally. But in terms of the actual tokenomics, right, this is the part that it gets very frustrating, because when you have a successful dApp that is built on EOS, okay, naturally, right, developers will have a supply, okay, that they can provide successful companies that build on EOS, because the running cost actually gets more expensive as time goes by, okay. And when you create any kind of smart contract, it costs money. Okay, and if your token goes up too quickly in price, the developer team that is self-funded obviously will be discouraged to continue working on your particular platform. So you cannot afford to have your token suddenly become $100, and then after that, but in terms of gas fees and everything, unless there's a way that you can maintain the gas fees and maintain a kind of like a testnet environment where, okay, once it's ready to go live, this is roughly the cost. Maybe there's some kind of kickback to the way the smart contract performs once it hits the mainnet. Yeah, stuff like that. So there has to be some incentive, because it is just too vast already. It's when you talk about building something on the blockchain or any kind of blockchain, right, or whatever kind of smart contract platform, it isn't that straightforward to say, okay, this is the fixed price that I can give you, right? There's always a so-called market price, right? So this is the stuff that a lot of blockchain projects, right, didn't think about when they created the smart contract, right? They are there only to make sure that there's a very user-friendly SDK, or we call it the software developer kit, where one simple tool can help the developer immediately. They don't have to key in the code line for line. Everything is just press 1, this is what it will do. Press 2, this is what it will do. Or at least you key in a single word, and then this is what the thing will perform. You help people make it easier, you know what I mean? So that people can start innovating and not try to fine tune. So the developer team will figure out all the making sure that the smart contract platform performs smoothly, and then whatever developers that come on board is here to build the cool stuff, the fun stuff for consumers like us. Then those companies, right, that successfully create a decentralized application of use, right, people don't have to care, guys. I don't care how the wallet works. I just want to make sure it works. I don't care how the game functions. I want to make sure it's fun. When I play it, I enjoy it, right? And it makes sense for me, okay? So all these things, right, are all the consumer cares about. And once there's an award-winning game, or at least a game that is well received, or a platform, a payment gateway, a software solution that a company wants, okay, that truly functions well on the blockchain, then, only then, right, all these prices that you see here moving up and down, right, will make any sense, right? Because right now everything is still speculative. Whatever news that can be thrown out there, that is with regards to a regulation, with regards to a new development, adoption, you know, when I watch, sometimes, right, you don't want to get caught up. And that's why I'm actually quite good. I'm actually quite happy to be in business development, because I'm actually working from what's happening on the outside and also working on the inside. I take I step back from trading crypto, but more of focusing on understanding what is going on in the overall blockchain ecosystem. I speak to people outside of the space looking in, and we're talking about lawyers, VCs. I speak to bankers on their views on the ones, those who are, by the way, not within blockchain and crypto, but they have read about it. Then we also talk to the people within it. Okay, of course we speak to developers as well. Like, how far are they away from actually creating something legitimate, right? And they always say, still we have a long way to go. Still we have a long way to go. Still we have a long way to go. Lots of testing, lots of bugs, lots of errors. You see, guys? So these are the things that a lot of people don't know. So when you see the news popping up from whatever source, I don't want to name drop the sources, you know, try to take it with a grain of salt, okay? Because it's still a long way more. And the good thing is that you want to have, if you really believe that this space is going to do well in the next 5 years, 10 years, you only need to maintain and observe the overall landscape of the current cryptocurrencies that have done well and they have been around the longest, okay? I cannot emphasize this enough. As much as I want to give innovation a chance and the younger companies a chance, the whole crypto market is very young, okay? The whole crypto market is very young, except for Bitcoin, who is the grandfather network. Other than that, every single thing is young. Look at Ethereum. It's still a little boy. If you think about it, it's still a little boy. It has so much problems, right? And even the developers, right, have created problems for sometimes embedding a code that could compromise the whole network, and coins get stuck. We're talking about millions, okay? Multi-millions getting stuck on the network, okay? Yeah. These are things that developer teams from Ethereum are obviously one of the most sophisticated and the highest level. But hey, there are going to be companies that are going to have better developers out there. So all these things, as a outsider looking in, oh my God, Ryan, you're sharing so much information with me. It's an overload. Well, maybe you can watch some of my earlier episodes, or maybe you can actually just sign up on my free course, right? And from then, you can get a better understanding of what this space is about. I mean, at the end of the day, I'm always here to help you kind of smoothen out your learning curve, right? Help you to bring that difficulty level down, because I'm not a developer, but I understand the space enough that I can make well-informed decisions. And that's all you need to do. You don't need to be a guru. You don't need to be an expert, because there's no such thing as a crypto expert, okay? We only have practitioners, and the ones that have been around the longest, for example, Andreas Antonopoulos, Charles Hoskinson, you talk about Willy Woo, they don't call themselves experts. They are practitioners, and they are familiar with what happens within the space. They are professionals at what they do, okay? When you see a crypto expert, right, you know that one is gonna try to sell you something. There is not once on my channel have I ever put crypto expert says. Okay, I don't have that kind of notion that I'm a crypto expert, because this space is evolving so quickly all the time. There is no way that you can quickly that says that this particular platform is going to work now. And like I said, if you don't work in that particular company, right, and you're a developer yourself, how do you know how to spot the errors, right? How do you know that this will work over time? You don't know. They are all testing right now, right? It's just that there's a very receptive market and a little playground that these blockchain developers, right, are able to work with. You think that if there was no real demand in this space, they will come over from their existing software development jobs? Obviously not. But since there is a demand, there seems to be an interest from the enterprises and conglomerates that want to adopt this technology. They want to start now. They don't want, so conglomerates and institutions are not going to be waiting. They want to put in some money first and see how it can help their existing system. Either is to help it out on security, scalability, or perhaps truly decentralizing the system to offer obviously better security in the medium to long term, right? As long as a large company can bring down its cost of operations, that means they're going to probably cut away certain departments, right? And maybe through the smart contract from maybe EOS or Hyperledger or whatever, from there they are able to bring down their costs, and it helps them out in their profit margins. That's really how it's going to work, guys. Right? It's all about automation these days, right? That's why you have robo-advisory. That's why you have robo-advisory is basically, if you don't even know the term, means that right now, if I was someone who doesn't have the net worth, I don't have an advisor as per se, a financial advisor, I can look at the robo-advisory system. I key in my risk, answer a few questions. It will kind of populate a risk profile for me, and from then after that, I fund the account. The robo advisor will kind of find the best investments for my money. You know, there's stuff like that. But I would still prefer to be aware. I don't like to let a robot decide for me what needs to be done. I don't mind a software automating stuff for me, but I definitely will not want that robot to kind of make investment decisions for me, because I am professional enough that I know what I want to buy, right? Or how much I want to buy of that particular investment. I don't want to let a robot have to decide that for me. Yes, sure, it's all about the algorithm and making sure that we make spot on entries. Bullshit. The robot was tweaked in such a way that it would think in such a way, and who had to key in those perimeters? A bloody human being. Right? Sure, there's going to be machine learning and AI and whatnot and all the cool kinky stuff. But if you have been watching anything with regards to AI or machine learning, all these things takes time, right? And the top AI and machine learning softwares are not available for retail. It's too expensive to kind of give that to you, right? So right now, this is what we're at the moment. So if you ask me, take your time. Dollar cost average into whatever cryptocurrency that you plan to buy, right? You don't have to rush. We're still in a bear market, okay? And that's why I came out with that video. If you haven't caught it, maybe you can watch it here. It's just basically why I feel $6,000 the 6,000 BTC would be more viable, and it has to sustain at 6,000. At the same time, also I said 200 billion in terms of market cap. Then we come and talk about a possibility of a full recovery and bull run. Other than that, right now, it's still going to be a pretty great. It's range bound. People are still able to even afford one Bitcoin. And I think right now it's still the best time to accumulate. And I hope that this really lasts at least a good part of the year. Alright, so guys, that's all for the stream. Thank you for watching this live update. Give it a thumbs up if you felt it was of value. And subscribe, please. Subscribe to the channel, guys. And click on the notification bell so that you will not miss another live stream. See ya.